Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Action Indoor Sports Salisbury here in South Australia with the finals of the 2019 Australian Masters Indoor Cricket Championships. It is the preliminary final in the over 30 women's division between Victoria and South Australia. I'm Cameron Walter alongside Gary Lowe. Gary, good evening.
Good evening, Cameron Walter.
Thank you for your company once again, ladies and gentlemen, for this game. Gary Lowe, Vics and South Australia, why don't you take us through the two sides?
It would be my pleasure to do so. Victoria look a little bit like this. Well, not a little bit, they look exactly like this. Brodie Whitmore is the captain for Victoria. Alison Baker, Michelle Lutas, Tracy Gleeson, who will be wearing Michelle Lutas's shirt for those at home watching. Kat Jones, Marnie Kelly, Susan Hilton and Annie McDiarmid. And South Australia line up with Tegan McFarlane, BBL superstar. These the captain for South Australia. Nisha Riles, Rebecca Pollard, Jess Oldfield, Elizabeth Hall, Tanya Monocchio, I'm going with. Unless I'm told differently on social media, that's what I've been calling her all week. Hannah Perry and Marilyn Pfeiffer.
The umpire for the match is Hayden Brum from Queensland. It is a sudden death, a prelim final in the over 30 women's division, making its return to the Australian Masters Indoor Cricket Championships. Good to see the girls out there playing in the national tournament. On the line is a spot in the grand final against Queensland, and also on the line some spots in the Australian women's sides, the Australian Masters ladies sides for South Africa. So lots on the line here for the two teams. South Australia, perhaps the more fancied side on paper. Do they finish higher on the ladder?
Well, I know that these two teams, there is quite a separation between them as we see this game get underway with Pfeiffer starting off. South Australia finished second.
A wicket off the first ball.
Wow.
What a piece of fielding from the South Australians, and that's a dream start.
Turn it up,
for the home state.
Turn it up right in front of the home crowd as well. I was about to start talking about how well they've been playing all week, and they come out with that absolute gem. South Australia finished second on the ladder with 30 competition points, 4 wins, 2 losses. Victoria, 12 competition points, 2 wins, 4 losses. So there is a little bit of daylight between the two teams. In terms of games played, they've met twice this week. South Australia beat Victoria in the first instance, 114-65. As that ball strays down leg side, correctly called by umpire Hayden Brum. So South Australia picking up all 4 skins on that occasion. And the second time they met, very, very, very similar scores. South Australia 112 defeating Victoria 35. So, South Australia well on top.
Well, we've seen a couple of boilovers in the tournament so far, Gary Lowe, not the least of which was the over 45 men's prelim final that saw New South Wales get ahead of Queensland. Maybe we'll see something like that tonight. It's tough to see it happening. It'd take something special from Victoria. South Australia have got all the advantages, including the fact that we're at their home state.
Yeah, it does play into it, and anyone who says otherwise, I think they might be telling you porcupines. Quite a healthy crowd here at the moment at Action Indoor Sports Salisbury. And, just like in any kind of sport, rugby league, AFL, whatever it is, there's always that game sometimes where the underdog, the team that's right down the bottom of the ladder, sometimes knocks off the top dogs. It does happen. It can happen. And indoor cricket's no exception.
Now, the sort of scores that we've seen as that over comes to an end, the first over of the match from Marilyn Pfeiffer, 2 runs from it. The sort of scores that we've seen from South Australia, Victoria are really going to need to bat out of their skin here. And, well, in a perfect world, they'll score 100. But that's what they'll need.
Yeah, that's what they're definitely going to need it. During the tournament this week, South Australia have averaged 99.5. In the last 3 games, they've averaged 103.3. So that's quite a small grouping in terms of the distance from their last 3 games and their weekly average. So that's quite consistent. You'd expect to see their score up near the 100. They're only conceding around 55 or 60. Conversely, the Victorians are only scoring about 55 or 60 themselves. So if you were going to try and crystal ball it a little bit, you'd imagine that South Australia will be getting somewhere north of 110, 120, and Victoria will be somewhere mid-50s, early 60s.
Leg side followed up with a dot. Both of those followed a lovely a down up 2 from Whitmore to start the over. Another 2 runs to the total there for Kat Jones. Minocchio continuing. It's full, it's sent into the backcourt by Whitmore. Helps herself to a lovely 5.
Yeah, Brodie Whitmore, the captain, she's an outstanding talent. I'm sure that she won't be allowing South Australia just to walk all over her Victorian side tonight. Very proud are the Vics. So a no ball too high called by umpire Hayden Brum. Victoria moved to 15, of course. Would like to acknowledge the coach of South Australia, who's also out on court, Jess Oldfield. The number 8, always a tough job when you need to be out on court and also coach the team. Manager Nisha Isles, also out on court. In the offside sweeper position there, or traditional mid-off. And Victorian outfit coached by Samantha Hall. So some players here that would be quite familiar with those who follow indoor cricket quite closely, particularly for the South Australian squad. They've gone quite a long time with team members that really do stick together. You know, Tegan McFarlane's been around in this squad for quite a while. Nisha Isles, Elizabeth Hall, a couple of newish type faces into the South Australian squad, but overwhelming vast majority of the team sticking together and playing cricket together on a regular basis, which of course helps when they're batting and bowling in their various partnerships, Cam.
Oh, 100%. That familiarity, that just running on instinct, knowing what your partner's going to do, knowing who's going to be where in the field, all of that stuff, it's worth gold, particularly in a national tournament. Great delivery there from Liz Hall. Found the edge, it's only a dot. This pair doing well on 18 runs, certainly playing their part in constructing some sort of a total that they can defend here. A little flick back and an easy wicket. Of course, I just start talking them up, and South Australia produce a lovely little piece of fielding there to affect the run out at the top end to Whitmore. Takes the score back to 13.
So the Victorians will be very aware of the competition that they're up against this evening. They'll be looking to score as many runs as they can, and they might be taking just a few additional, I won't say risks, but they'll be looking to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, than usual, because they'll know that just scraping across and getting a 50 or a 60 is not going to be enough against South Australia. They're going to need a little bit more.
Well, I tell you what, Lowy, 0 runs from that over with the wicket, but what I really admire about Victoria, they've been pretty well handily defeated both times by South Australian around games. They would have been tempted to send South Australia in, so they have some idea of how to chase it.
Yeah.
They've won the toss and they've said, you know what, we'll bat.
Pretty brazen, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. Whether or not it works in their favour, time will tell. They're coming up against a mighty South Australian side. Tegan McFarlane now to bowl the 4th over. Starts with a leg side. I wonder if we'll see McFarlane playing for the South Australian Open ladies.
I would hazard a guess as to a yes.
Certainly has the last few years.
Yeah.
Double tournament year. Must love her cricket.
She's mad keen for it.
Chance at the top. The call is no. A nice early call, and Whitmore is back.
So it's been interesting here with the scores that Victoria have scored against South Australia. They've always started off quite well, the Victorians. That's a good shot there. Nisha Isles is on that. Gee, she's a good player, Nisha Isles.
Yeah, incumbent Australian women's player. Yeah, pretty handy on the
she's
line.
good.
Yeah, I've got a feeling you'll have to forgive me, Lowy, if you covered this while I was doing some detective work on the score sheet. Oh, that's a good piece of fielding. Big shout, not out. But yeah, I suspect pretty strongly that a lot of these South Australians will probably be taking the court for the South Australian ladies side at the Opens tournament.
Yeah, I'd Nisha Riles definitely. Tegan McFarlane, absolutely.
I think we've seen Sampson there before, Oldfield.
Yeah, Elizabeth
Liz
Hall.
Hall, yeah. Left, and it's called wide. I'll have it again. They move to 22 with 3 balls remaining. That's 2 extras so far in this over from McFarlane. And another extra. Gee, that's costly. Just not coming out of the hand right, is it?
Now it's going a little bit astray, and just while there's a little bit of break in play, talking about the Vics when they get started, they've scored scores of 35 against South Australia and 65, but they've always started off very well. The first skin 25 in the first instance, and then 27 in the second game. So what they're doing at the moment is what they've done. Oh, they'll take that as well. This is good stuff here for the Victorians. So they've traditionally started off very strongly in their batting against South Australia. So that's great.
Well, they'll need it.
Yeah, they will. They will.
But huge runs to get this underway. You see Nisha Oz come back and have a chat to a smiling McFarlane. It's been a 7-ball over so far and still 3 balls remain. Now, another extra. But it's the last game of the day. We've got plenty of time for these extra deliveries.
Keep going.
8-ball over so far, still 3 to come. McFarlane moving around the wickets. Push through the gap. Oh, very nearly a run out. Oldfield having a shy at the stumps with that little flick, but lovely push from Kat Jones through the gap on the offside there for 3. 2 to come. And Whitmore helps herself to 2. You can see why this is the opening combination for the Vic ladies side.
It makes me angry how easily Brodie Whitmore does that. It infuriates me. I wish I had that skill. She's so good at it.
The last ball now. And it's a dot ball, so a good finish despite that being an 11-ball over from Tegan McFarlane. And 33 runs on the board from a pumped Kat Jones and Brodie Whitmore. Can the next pair follow up? Baker and Hilton coming out onto the court. They've got work to do to keep this going for Victoria against a rock-solid South Australian side.
Yeah, look, and they've proven time before that they do have the ability to get off to a good start. We've discussed that already, but here's where they've had some tricky waters to navigate through. Baker out there at the moment as I'm looking for her stats, which I cannot find. Yes, they've finally come to me. She's averaging 11.2, which is it's not too bad. It's neither outstanding, but it's neither really poor as well. That's probably right in the middle of the road, which is pretty handy. And Hilton averaging 7.5. So 18, I tell you, if they can scratch out 18 or 20, that'd definitely be a massive win. That'd be a huge win, in fact.
Yeah, pushed into the gap to start to get their innings underway. 2 runs to Baker, and it's Hannah Sampson, the bowler. Fairly handy for the South Australians. Yeah, just catches some of the pants on the way through there, I think, of Susie Hilton. So called fair. Great delivery from Sampson. Oh, it's a chance. They can't collect. It was fended straight to the fielder. It'll just be a single. We'll keep those of you watching live up to date with some of the other games taking place right now. The 35 men's prelim final between Queensland and WA. The first pair for Queensland have posted handy 30 runs. Sampson continues. Beats the bat of Baker. Shout. They don't they don't steal the run. That was on offer. The other game happening right now, New South Wales and ACT in the over 40 men's prelim final. Again, sudden death indoor cricket. New South Wales posting 14 for the first pair.
Nisha Riles is dangerous. She gets that one just wrong. I thought she was going to be all over that one. Came well into the hand. Her eyes lit up. Fires it back to Tegan McFarlane at receiver there, but a little bit too wide. Don't worry. There will be plenty more opportunity coming Nisha Riles' way. I'm sure that there'll be a run out or two notched down under her name in this game.
Oh, that's up and should be out and taken. I think that's Pollard down there in the at the point position. It just caught the back net and sat out nicely for her. And South Australia claim another wicket. Here's the replay thanks to playcricket.com.au. Well, perfectly judged there in the end. An important wicket. They were going okay there, the Vicks, in that first over, but Sampson kept asking questions and the answer was a wicket off the last ball.
Yeah, that'll be quite handy. Victoria, as previously alluded to, would be looking for somewhere around, I think 15 even would be a great win. I mean, if they can be 50 after, 12 overs, 8 overs, my apologies.
That one's left alone by Baker. It's a dot. Excuse me, it's a wide. That's what I meant to say. Very clear wide. Oldfield continuing. Throws it right up there, used to the feet. What a grab. That is a screamer. Didn't need to wait for that one to come off the net. It stuck the hand out and plucked it out of the air like, well, almost like the old Pluck It Up days for the Hey Hey It's Saturday fans.
Oh, gee, that's going back a while, brother.
Straight into the left Duke. Pollard. No, it's not Pollard. I got the name wrong last time. I'm not sure who that is down in the front court. My glasses aren't that good. I've stitched her up and given the previous catch to Pollard as well.
More interestingly, Cameron Walter, I want to know where you're getting Hey Hey It's Saturday gear from, mate. That's that shows one of my favourites. I love Daryl and the team.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see an appearance from Dickie Nee later on.
Yeah.
Tucked away behind square, a chance. It's missed. I think it's Pfeiffer down there in the front court. I'm really just trying to identify that player.
I think it is Marilyn Pfeiffer.
She's got to credit the right player with some two pieces of great fielding. Oldfield throwing it right up and easy as you like, stumping for Minocchio there behind the stumps, and another wicket falls. Take a look here on the replay. Advances and happy days if you're a South Australian fan. You can confirm, and my apologies to Marilyn Pfeiffer, two great pieces of fielding down there at point, including sharp catch, sticking that left hand out.
Yeah, I think Rebecca Pollard was pretty happy to get the kudos, though.
Oh, why not?
He's probably not happy with the retraction. Good shot. Good shot.
And that brings the over to an end. Despite that lovely shot off the last ball, it's still 2 for -4 off the Jess Oldfield over. And this pair in a little bit of trouble now. -4. 2 overs remain. Can they rebuild and get this innings back on track for the Vicks? Plenty of South Australian fans here in the venue willing the home team on. The over 30 ladies division back in the tournament for the first time in a couple of years.
Yeah, they're certainly a welcomed addition to the competition, there's no doubt about it.
Back in 2013, the last time they featured at the Masters Championship, so it's been a long time between drinks.
Yeah, that it has.
And welcome back, ladies. Pfeiffer bowling her second over. It's full. In a way, a single. Yeah, perhaps the attraction of a trip to South Africa with the Australian over 30s has enticed a few of these teams back.
Yeah. They'll bring a few players out of the woodwork, that's for sure.
Oh, I thought that might have just snuck back in that delivery, but no. Caught a piece of the chalk in tennis parlance.
Yeah, there was a fair bit of hoop on that delivery, perhaps not just coming back enough. You're in a much better position of view than I am. I really couldn't tell. Oh, could be a mix-up here. She's turning around. Oh.
Well, look, if you're going to strand yourself in the middle of the pitch, the best place to do it is standing on top of the ball.
Yeah, that's right. Pirouette on top of the Burley Seacombe, then did Susan Hilton.
Oh, straight through. Pfeiffer doing the work for South Australia, and another wicket falls. It is all red at the moment. Take a look at the replay here. Again, another hooping delivery. Just comes back in and smashes the middle of the off stump. It's perfect bowling for an in-swinging delivery.
Yep, that is directly on the money. Probably a bit of practice during the training sessions, putting a cup on a good length and trying to hit that cup for hours at a time.
Cup. In the ACT
cup.
we use players.
20-cent pieces of players.
Yeah, you got to sit there.
On a stool, like a little plastic bench, and they got to bowl it underneath you.
Oh, I haven't done that one, but
No.
sit there and try and get them to bowl in a channel. I haven't done that for a while. It's probably why I don't coach anymore. The players probably got sick of me
I don't know,
endangering them like that.
don't know if we're allowed to do that in 2019, OHS and those kind of things. I did see the Queensland outfit. Haven't seen this done in a little while as well. Forget which grade it was. And they had all their players lined up, kind of like a wall on one side and a wall on the other side of their players, and you had to try and bowl it perfectly through there and not hit any of the guys.
Yeah, that's pretty similar.
A bit like, I don't know if you've seen Tiger Woods where he's hit the golf ball in some kind of NICAD, and he's got these players really, really close. He's got to try and hit them through. So, yeah, a bit of incentive there to bowl the right channels.
Well, certainly incentive for the people that are standing there.
You're at the other end of the firing line.
Here's Nisha Isles. She'll bowl the 8th over, the final over to this pair. They're in some trouble, -2. And, well, they've got to deal with Nisha Isles, pretty handy cricketer.
Yeah, it's if you're down the striker's end with bat in end, you've got to face Nisha Isles. It's a pretty scary prospect because she is a damaging bowler. Once she comes through and, look, she's, I know this is a Masters competition, but I'm sure she must be getting faster as time's continuing.
Look, I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, I've watched Nisha Isles play for years now, and she's bowling quicker than I've seen.
Yeah, I honestly think so. Yeah, she is for sure.
Oh, look at that. Catches the edge, and Pfeiffer's having a field day down there at point. Tickets, please. And, well, wheels are falling off of Victoria. They're going to need a big fight back here in the last 2 pairs, I think.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain that Nisha Isles has picked up a few extra kilometres, so whatever she's been doing, keep doing it right. I know that she's had some injuries over the last couple of years. I think possibly a knee, I could be wrong, or it was some kind of a limb concern that she had.
A limb concern.
Concern.
Gee, I would have been appealing for the catch there, but no need. Pollard this time. It is Pollard, makes no mistake. Well, almost suicidal run from the Victorians, as you see here on the replay. Thank you very much. And that's out. Wonderful angle there from the umpire stand as well. Yeah, thanks to our broadcast partners at Sportscast Australia.
It's a cracking angle up there, isn't it? It's a real winner, that one. I love it.
Fallen driven straight to the fielder. No run taken. 1 ball remains now in the second pair for Victoria. The score's gone backwards to 21.
Yeah, I think it'd be prudent here just to block this ball out. If I was the coach, it's what I'd be yelling out.
Well, had a dip at it, but
that's fine. That's no wicket. It's not a bad end. -12. But they came across. I mean, Nisha Isles is a world-class player, absolute world-class player. So to be able to come up against her, that's pretty
quite a
grim
challenge.
stuff. It really is.
Certainly is. We'll take a quick look at the other games unfolding at the moment for those watching live. Queensland taking on Western Australia in the over 35 men preliminary final. Batting first, Queensland are on 45 midway through the 8th over. The other game, of course, between New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory in the over 40 men's prelim final. Wickets just fallen there. New South Wales back to 21 early in the 8th over. We'll keep you up to date with those matches as they play out. We're back to this one. We've got Tracy Gleeson batting now with Marnie Kelly. They'll have to contend with Liz Hall, who took a wicket and conceded nothing from her first over. Here she is. Interesting story with Tracy Gleeson. I can tell you that she was originally in this Victorian side and through some work commitments had to withdraw. And midway through this week, Victorian suffered a couple of injuries, and they jokingly got her on the phone and said, gee, it'd be good if you could come on over. She said, they all had a bit of a laugh. She rang them back later and said, you know what, I probably can.
That's
jumped
brilliant.
on a plane, and here she is on the court in a prelim final. That's why she's borrowed a shirt as well.
Well, I'm sure that they've been paying her back in kind with possibly a nice gift of some description. This batting partnership averaging just on 10. So sometimes, you know, there's a certain limit to the skill level that you possess, but you just try to do better than what you've previously done. And that in itself is a win. So if they know that that's about where they're at is 10, I'm sure they'll be looking just to better themselves and to go a few more runs better than that. And they're off to a good start with 4 here. So already halfway through and at the end of the first over with 1 delivery to come. So good start from this pair.
Yeah, well, PBs from all the Vic batters to come gives them a chance. But they have to, as you say, they've got to better what they've put on the court in terms of their averages before. That over comes to an end. 4 runs from it.
Yeah, Gleeson on the 1. Kelly on 3. Bit of a power wow discussion here in the middle of the court for South Australia, humming and hawing about what they're going to do. If they're going to bowl Tegan McFarlane, I'm actually quite surprised by that, and it looks like they possibly are.
What surprises you about that move?
Well,
Chloe?
I just would have thought that, and again, I'm not taking anything away from the 2 batters here in this partnership, but I would have thought that Tegan McFarlane possibly could have been used for some of the next 2 batters that are coming on, which is slightly more stronger, to try and keep that batting pair down. Like, obviously, McFarlane's going to do very, very well against this bunch. Oh, no ball too high. That's very close. It's almost at the top of our stump there.
Well, it's over the waist as it passed the crease. That's fair enough.
Well, I'm not sure if I completely agree with
Kelly.
With Kelly down the other end. Yeah, my apologies. She was saying it was up near her eyeballs. I don't know.
A little bit of hyperbole never went astray when you're trying to coax a wicket out of an umpire.
So I'm not too sure about that one, Kelly.
Marnie Kelly, yeah.
Marnie Kelly.
Yep. They move to 7 now, keeping the score ticking over Victoria. Great delivery from McFarlane, and gee, every time I say something positive, South Australia say, hey, here's a wicket.
Let's get this game back on our terms.
Yeah. Check it out. Lovely delivery from McFarlane. Probably wasn't a run there. Gleeson just setting off. And, well, another wicket fall. South Australia well on top here.
Can absolutely assure all the folks at home that Cameron Walter will keep you up to date as much as possible with the other games. Of course, we have a game here on this court that we're focusing our attention on, and fully appreciate that you want to be across all the news and coverage of all the other games that are happening, and I assure you that Cameron Walter is all over it, and as scores change and overs move on, he'll keep you updated.
McFarlane with 2 balls left can probably suggest that anyone looking for the ACT New South Wales score, Con Flores will probably be updating that on Facebook, so if you happen to be friends with him, you'll probably keep up to date with the score there. I dare say someone's doing the same. The other game, which in fact we've got a locked camera broadcasting that and the score as well, so you can check that out. But we of course want you to stick with us here, the over 30 ladies prelim final. 1 run off the over, 1 for 1, a much better over from McFarlane, who perhaps unexpectedly has bowled 17 deliveries in the innings, finishing with figures of 1 for 19 after 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 extras going in her first over. That stings.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit uncharacteristic. She's conceded 34 runs in 6 games in the round stages, and then she's come out here and let slip 17 in 1 game. So
maybe she wasn't bowling the last over to a pair in all those other games.
Yeah, obviously not. And wow, that's some really sharp fielding. And Kelly there caught short of her ground. That's just a right-handed slap and really good service over the stumps.
Yeah, Liz Hall, she's a bit of a demon down there in the front court. That's bread and butter for her. And Victoria, it's not going their way at the moment. South Australia, well, they're being brutal. And they need to be if they are indeed to win this match. They've got it all ahead of them if they're going to beat Queensland in the final. So they need this to almost be a dress rehearsal in terms of how they approach the game.
Yeah, and I've got no doubt that they'll be using it for those purposes. Of course, they'll be looking to get over top of the Vics here, but they'll be very aware that should they win, they've got a mountain of a task ahead up against the Queensland side. Some may argue that South Australia are heavily fancied against Victoria in this game. Well, by the same token, people might think that Queensland would have the same dominance over South Australia in a final. Queensland didn't drop a game. But interestingly enough, South Australia won more skins than Queensland during the week. So although Queensland didn't drop a single game, South Australia.
Sharp piece of fielding there from Sampson.
Picking up 18 skins, Queensland just the 17.
Yeah, it's an interesting stat, that one. I mean, it tends to, if you could infer anything from that, it'd be that Queensland rely on stronger pairs getting them across the line in some games. So they're winning games only with 2 or maybe even 1 skin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a difference of 1, but that's probably the only real thing you could infer from that difference. Final over to the pair now after Tanya Minocchio's 1 for -2. She finishes with 1 for 11. It'll be Oldfield now. Chance at the top, Liz Hall. Incredible player. All the time in the world to affect that wicket. And this pair back below 0 after a wonderful opening partnership. Things are going backwards for Victoria.
Yeah, it just looked far too clinical there. Elizabeth Hall picking it up. Perfect service with the bounce throw. Tegan McFarlane whipping the bails off at the non-striker's end. Real clinic.
Edged, falls safe. Well, I think it was edged. That could have been leg from here, but
I think you're all right, Cam.
Well, even if I wasn't, let's just pretend I was. Oldfield continuing. Up. Diving. Nisha Isles can't complete it, but I tell you what, South Australia will still affect the run out. Sharp piece of fielding there to somewhat unexpectedly convert that into a wicket. Take a look here on the replay thanks to playcricket.com.au. Just out of reach. A little flick from Sampson. And McFarlane does the job at receiver.
Yeah, Kelly just not getting on her bike after hitting that ball. She kind of hit it and she thought, oh, yeah, well, that's probably going to be out caught possibly. And by the time it fell safe, she had to get going and caught short of her ground. That's good awareness there by South Australia.
Gee, that's it's almost a no ball, if not a wide, left alone by Tracy Gleeson, but it is a dot. 2 to come in the partnership. Thrown right up there and hit with some power there by Gleeson into the hands of Sampson there in the 3-line. A good piece of fielding, but she can't come up with a direct hit. Looking sharp in the field, South Australia. 1 ball to come.
Yeah, I've got no doubt whatsoever that the management team for Queensland and quite possibly a couple of Queensland players that aren't undergoing treatment after their rigorous campaign thus far would be tuning in, watching this, getting an idea of it's a good call there by the umpire. Again, we talked about it in a previous broadcast as well, very tricky the no ball to eye, particularly with that because it's so loopy and it bounces at such a sharp angle.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough. But I'm sure that there'll be some Queenslanders watching this and taking down a few notes, seeing what's going on here with the South Australians and how they go about their business.
Thrown right up there again. Swept away. Hall responds to the no call, but it is a dot to finish. And the pair, well, -2. Victoria still below the 33 they began with in their opening pair. South Australia being ruthless in their approach to this game so far. Thanks so much for your company as we take you through this, the over 30 women's prelim final between South Australia and Victoria. I'm Cameron Walter alongside the Gary Lowe Show. We're coming to you on indoor.cricket.com.au, Facebook and YouTube from Action Indoor Sports Salisbury. Just do a quick check-in with the other games. Queensland up against WA, the over 35 men's prelim final. Queensland are on 60 with 2 balls remaining in the 12th over. New South Wales, they're up against the Australian Capital Territory in the over 40 men's prelim final, and with 1 over to go, they are on 1 over to go in the third pair. They are on 35. And back in action here, Pollard bowling for South Australia. Michelle Lutus on strike for Victoria, and starts with dominant 2, Anne McDermott. She is now on strike at the other end. Well, the striker's end. She started at the other end. Pollard continuing now. Full driven. Chance at the top. The flick between the legs. No good. And McDermott's home. Three to come now. Here's Pollard. It's foolish and defended by McDermott.
And Cameron Walter, we were talking just recently, a couple of overs ago, about some of the talent from South Australia that compete in the open side. We've got one of them standing by, Miss Jesso. Oh, there's a mix-up here by Victoria, but South Australia haven't been able to take advantage of that. Jessica O'Reilly, who plays in the South Australian Open team. I also understand as an Australian representative.
Was she out and about, is she?
She is out and about. And I have it on reasonable authority that we were able to get her inside. Well, at least we're trying to. So she's a wonderful ambassador for the sport here in South Australia, not only just in South Australia, mind you, but across the country. So if we can get her in, which I hope that she does say yes, we've got our people over there, mate, trying to bribe her to get her in here.
It's a great piece of fielding again. Gee, they're on fire, aren't they, South Australia? Every time Victoria looked like they might be trying to conduct CPR on this innings, the South Australians take away the deep fib. There it is on the replay. Great work from South Australia.
And just looking at the one stump too, Cameron Walter, I mean, that's it's an outstanding play. It's very, very tricky, but the old cliche, the good players make it look easy, and at the moment South Australia are making it look very easy as Victoria are on 20. And it gets worse, 15, the score keeps going backwards. 33, that opening batting partnership for Victoria. Again, we talked about it during the broadcast in the last 2 games. South Australia and Victoria have met. The Vics have got off to a solid start every time. And then after that, things have kind of got a little bit more tricky as the innings has continued. And this evening, situation no change. Victoria reeling on 15, and their hopes of getting into a final get lower and lower, and now it moves to 10.
Well, it's all South Australia at the moment, isn't it? That's what the home crowds come to see.
Oh, the paying customers are over the moon. Three deliveries remain in the 14th, and that's going to be a little bit too high. Nisha Isles. She wants blood, Cam. She wants blood. A bit of chin music coming through. A Victorian batting partnership on -7, and Nisha Isles. She doesn't care.
Oh,
and into the ribs.
It's ruthless, isn't it?
What a violent individual. She means all business. And a slower delivery, which she just gets wrong. She just tried that one to come out of the back of the hand, and no ball off the pitch is called by umpire Hayden Brum. So our sportscast team have just whispered in my ear that yes, Jess O'Reilly will be coming across to commentate. We've got her in.
What a treat that is, ladies and gentlemen. Sampson bowling her second over now.
I knew when I bought that 2 kilograms of gold bullion to the indoor cricket centre earlier on, it'd be put to good use, and it's all gone into Jess O'Reilly's pocket to get her in the hot seat.
Oh, I don't know about that. They've got to save their pennies to pay for the Gary Lowe show, don't they? Sampson continuing, and well, look, that's a wicket from nothing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a wicket from absolute nothing, and mate, admission to the Gary Lowe show, mate. Trust me, it's not very expensive at all, mate. Desperate to get people in, desperate.
Free admission.
Free it, mate. I'm paying people. I'm paying people, brother.
4 to come in Sampson's over. That's a single to Michelle Lutis. Oh, the big shot, a chance, and she gets there.
Beautiful, deserved it. It would have been absolutely criminal if they got run out on that one.
Absolute fireworks from McDermott. Where's that been? We need more of it.
Bring it back. Do it again. We want more.
Tucked away for 2. And McDermott back on strike now. She do it again.
Yeah.
Run at it, you reckon?
Yeah, she's got the taste for it now. Bring it 7s.
No, too good a delivery
That's
from
a good
Hannah
cutter.
Sampson.
It's a good cut of that one.
Yeah, great finish. And we move now to the 16th over.
Well, mate, as I start collecting my bongos to get out of the commentary box and Jess O'Reilly comes on in, can I just say it's been really great sitting next to you in the commentary box today. I've talked about it before in broadcast. It's very rare that you and I get the opportunity to commentate together. Yeah. It's very rare. But I really do enjoy it. And
mate, it's been my pleasure guest starring on the Gary Lowe show.
Oh, mate, it's quite the opposite, mate. It's quite the opposite.
Here's beaten Pollard straight through Lutis.
And look, you haven't got cranky at me too often when I've made mention of the Yellow Ball podcast, which, by the way, is available
by all means
on Spotify, Whooshkaa, and iTunes, and there'll be a full wrap-up of the Masters tournament. We've got some really good interviews that have come out, and they'll be all available. But
I assume from the way you're talking that Jess O'Reilly's staying for the entirety of the second innings.
Yes, sir. Yes, she will be. As per the information that I've just been handed. Four deliveries remain in this over. Oh, she's gone large again. It won't be a 7, but it looked pretty good for the cameras. Turning it on, it's going to be 4 scored. McDermott not dying wondering here. She's got a run average of 6.4. I think that she surpassed that this evening. Oh, not called. Leg side. Must have been close.
Yeah, it would have been tight. Oh, a sharp chance there for O'Reilly. Sticks the hand out. A big shot there from Lutis, but she turns it into 1.
Now, as Jess O'Reilly comes to stand next to me, we have been talking you up deluxe, young lady, before you get into this commentary box. So all the viewers at home, they're ready for commentary magic from you, broadcasting magic from Jessica O'Reilly. I'm sure that's what's going to be coming.
And runs off the final delivery. And that brings the Victorian innings to a close. 24 runs from it. Gary Lowe, thank you very much for your company throughout the broadcast. We'll no doubt get together again for the grand finals, my friend.
I very much hope so, Cameron Walter. Thanks very much. And to all the folks at home, it's been a pleasure having your company for today. Jessica O'Reilly is going to jump into the hot seat, and Cameron Walter and Jess O'Reilly will take you through the remainder of this match.
Thanks again, Gary. Victoria posting 24 runs in the over 30 ladies prelim final. Well, they'll have to produce some sort of a miracle if they're going to defend that. We'll check in quickly with the other games taking place right now. Queensland and WA in the over 35 men's prelim. Queensland on 70 runs at the beginning of the last over. In the over 40 men's prelim final, New South Wales up against the ACT. New South Wales on 27 midway through the 15th over. But back to this game, South Australia well on top, and I'm joined now, as Gary said, by a South Australian who will be pretty happy with what she's seeing so far. Jess O'Reilly, welcome. Good evening.
Thank you, Cam. It's lovely to be here on a lovely yet cold night here in Salisbury, and thanks to Gary for the lovely introduction and welcome.
He's talked you up a bit.
I've been hearing that. No, excited to be here. And yep, fantastic result here for South Australia. Slow start, but really reined it in those last three pairs, and you know, a bit of heavy hitting from Victoria that last over to get them back in the positives, but you'd probably think a comfortable job here for South Australia with the bat. They've been doing pretty well this week.
Oh, I would think so. I think 24 certainly within reining in distance for them. If you were coaching Victoria or out there on the court for them, what would the message be?
I'd probably just encourage them to enjoy it. Potentially last game of the year or of the season, of the tournament. Just to enjoy it, enjoy being out there with each other and with your teammates, and yeah, just have a go. And you know what, finals are a funny thing, and indoor cricket's a funny thing, and game's never over till it's over. So yeah, I'd just enjoy this game.
Yeah, no doubt they will. Now it's Tegan McFarlane and Hannah Sampson. They will open the batting for South Australia. I was doing some speculating before you joined us, Jess, on how many of these over 30 ladies will actually feature in the open side alongside you at Nationals this year. Are these two among them? Are they playing opens as well this year?
Yeah, Tegan's our vice captain. She'll definitely be suiting up for us this year, as she did last year. Hannah's taken a year away from the opens game. No word yet whether she'll come back in next year, but she certainly featured the last couple of years for us as well. Both strong and disciplined batters who will probably enjoy setting this game up for South Australia. Our usual faces, Nisha Isles and Lizzie Hall, will join us as well away for opens, and Rebecca Pollard has been a previous player for us as well, but won't be playing in the opens this year.
Some pretty handy players to have in your over 30 ladies side.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And look, large part of the reason why South Australia looking the goods so far here against Victoria. Despite all of that, fantastic to see the over 30 ladies back at the Australian Masters tournament. It's been sort of 5-year break. Tracy Gleeson is the bowler, and edge there. Yep. Could have fallen into the hands. I've got to give a quick shout out. I've learned that Tracy Gleeson is in fact the sister-in-law of Martin Gleeson, who I know works at Cricket ACT. He's watching at home and wishing the best for Victoria, even though he's in Canberra now. 2 runs there to Hannah Sampson, and I've watched Sampson across a number of years, obviously in the opens, but just always to me just looks so like almost robotic. Yeah, it doesn't matter what situation's happening, she's just totally in control, whether she feels it or not. Certainly looks like it.
She's very, very focused and very determined. You'll probably push to find someone who's not or who's as competitive as Hannah is, and who can change a game the way she does, and she does that with her mind and with her mental side of the game, and she prides herself on being really strong-minded, and she always looks determined and has every right to look confident too, the form that she's in.
Definitely.
Good start by these two.
Yeah, 9 runs from the first over, the over of Tracy Gleeson. Marnie Kelly now will bowl the second, and Tegan McFarlane is on strike. It's off the legs into the back corner. The vice cap of the open side, as you said, but captain of this side, Tegan McFarlane.
That's correct.
I always like to see a skipper opening the batting too.
Another determined person as well, very focused, and puts a bit of pressure on herself to do well and to lead from the front with her performance. So she'll be definitely keen to set a good total here for the SA girls, and probably these two will look to win the game and get the rest of their team to follow on and work hard hopefully for tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's obviously figuring in their minds already. I mean, of course, the game's not over yet, but Victoria would be paying about 150 at the moment. So South Australia can be forgiven for turning their minds towards tomorrow. How much does tomorrow play on their minds in terms of the way they approach the rest of this game? A bit of self-preservation. Do you think they might not dive where they otherwise would, or have they got to stay in the zone? How's it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think they'll just be looking to do all the right things that they know they need to do tomorrow. Queensland know how to turn it up in finals, and they've obviously been the team to beat this week. And I think we'll be just looking to play our shots and to really be focused with our calling and get the job done in a really clean way, not really give away any chances. And it'll be a tough game tomorrow for whoever goes through, but it's certainly an exciting time. I know some of these SA girls to play in grand finals is really exciting, and something that we haven't done traditionally for a long time, and particularly for some of these women who have been around for a long time. Taking home that trophy at the end of the week is a really, really big thing, and to snag it off Queensland or Victoria, really, really big thing for us South Australians. Especially
at home, Jess.
Correct. You never want to lose on your home deck, but we seem to do it anyway, but perhaps not this year.
It's wonderful to be here in South Australia for the Masters Indoor Cricket Championships. We are, of course, coming to you on indoor.cricket.com.au through Facebook and YouTube from Action Indoor Sports Salisbury. Our congratulations to Daniel and Monique, the operators here at Salisbury, who've been fantastic hosts throughout this tournament. Centre's come up really well. As we're back underway with Kat Jones, who opened the batting for Victoria as part of a 33-run partnership. Key performer for the side. See what she's got with the ball. McFarlane's too strong
here too, so
probably be bowling outside off.
Bowl at their legs a little bit more here, but obviously a clear plan here with these two who do like to drive and are strong on their legs. So
just if that is the plan, just struggling to get that line on the legs at the moment. It's often a tough thing for a captain, for Brodie Whitmore, or does she persist with this field? Does she demand that the bowler hits this line, or does she react to the fact that she's not and change it up?
Yep, that one was a little bit more on the legs, but probably a bit too full for bring those fielders into play. But it's interesting. It's always tough as a captain to know, what you should do there and whether you're trusting your bowlers. And I think it probably shows good faith in your team and that you trust your team to place some faith in them. But
stick with the plan.
Yep, if that's the plan of the bowler, put some trust in the bowler to execute those plans. And
look, I think I must have just been too cranky a captain. I would have dragged him. That's why I don't play anymore, I think, Jess.
Fair enough.
Final ball of the Kat Jones over. Again, outside off, chopped down nicely for the South Australian skipper. That's bread and butter for her. A nice, easy down up two over cover point on the offside there. And they move to 23. Just 2 runs away.
She'll be enjoying that. She'll be enjoying that. Wide outside off.
Thank you very much.
Too true.
Looks like it'll be the Victorian skipper now, Brodie Whitmore. See what she can do. She can create something special here and at least keep the opening pair under the Victorian total. So the last couple of pairs have got something to do. Again, 2 fielders on the leg side in the front court.
Yep.
And full and wide outside off.
Good ball.
Yeah, look, not a bad option. The batter, obviously, with the 2 fielders there, is expecting it in at the leg. So if you can nail that full and wide delivery, it's a good option.
Can be a hard shot to play too. Might be speaking a little bit too personally, but I definitely struggle a little bit with that one.
Oh, me too. Well, that's full. It'll be a no ball. They've gone for the catch, but I've got bad news. There's a no ball over the waist, and therefore...
Bit of a get out of jail free card for
Hell yeah.
SA. You always seem to get them when you probably don't need them. You get lucky at times where you probably have a bit to play with, but takes them past the score.
Yeah, it sure does. It's a relatively recent rule change, that one. Oh, it's out, is it? The first wicket falls, and they're back below the score. Gee, Victoria needed that. The skipper's come up with the goods. Upper shot from Sampson into the offside net and just falls into the hands of the fielder on the 3 line there. Marnie Kelly making no mistake, as you see there on the replay. Victoria back to 22. I was going to ask you, Jess, that recent rule change to the no ball. A full pitch used to be shoulder height like a short ball. Now it's waist height like outdoor cricket. What do you think of that as a player?
Yeah, it's been probably a difficult one to adjust to. I know certainly from an umpiring point of view it would be a tough call to make, and we've probably seen a few examples where it's tough to call, and it's probably tough to swallow as a batter, or as a fielder, to see your spinners or your slower bowlers come up with a waist high ball that gets called a no ball that traditionally wasn't called that. It's definitely been an adjustment for us, but it's all for the safety of players, and probably shouldn't be spearing them at chest height anyway. But
correct, especially not if you're trying to look after your front court if you're a spinner. Another good full and wide delivery there from Brodie Whitmore.
It's been a good over here.
Yeah. 1 run from it so far, along with the wicket. It's fallen, driven well by Sampson. Not quite the line of the drive she's playing, but into the gap nonetheless, and 4 runs from it.
Great flick to finish. Appreciate a good flick from the back net. I've never hit one myself. Struggle to find the stumps, Cam.
Oh, I'm the same. I usually hide down at leg side. Last ball of the opening partnership. South Australia already in front. Chopped single backward of point to finish it from the South Australian skipper. They lost 1 wicket in that over, and indeed the 4 overs that they faced, but they've posted 29 and they're ahead already. It is all South Australia here on their home turf, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us as we take you through the over 30 ladies prelim final here at the Australian Masters Indoor Cricket Championships. Indoor cricket is indeed a sport for all Australians. There's a good way. You can play it anywhere around the country, all ages, all skill levels, men's, ladies, mixed, juniors, intellectual disability competitions. There's something for everybody. If you're not already playing, jump on playcricket.com.au, punch in your postcode, find your local centre, and as they say on the big banner there at the back of the court, take the floor, play indoor. Something for everybody, Jess.
And you know what, Cam? You don't need an indoor centre or a structured competition to play indoor cricket. Grab a bat, grab a ball, pair of stumps if you want it. Jump into any place that's got a wall, a gym, kitchen, family room.
That's inventive.
Pair of socks.
A couple of broken windows at your house.
Look, Mum's banned me from all ball sports, but no, we're seeing more and more gym cricket pop up, particularly around South Australia. It's really exciting to see that cricket can be played all year round, and your rain outs and your heat outs that happen all through summer. Obviously, no restrictions with indoor cricket. It goes ahead unless you're in one of those old buildings with a leak. But no. Lots of benefits to indoor cricket, and it can be played anywhere.
I think one of the benefits of indoor cricket proper, in terms of in a netted indoor cricket centre, chance goes begging there. Good piece of fielding from Whitmore. Is just how accessible it is to people that are new to cricket. Shorter format, all that sort of stuff. Softer ball, confined space. Everybody's in on the action. Brilliant for skill acquisition for juniors or for people new to the game.
Absolutely, and you find that the format and the time of the game, that hour and a half time period is that social aspect of sport that people are looking for, and absolutely we've seen here in SA a lot of players come new to the game and are interested in cricket and want to play cricket and find their passion for cricket through indoor and end up taking up outdoor after that. So fantastic place to learn the skills and a safe environment to do so. With springy nets, bringing the ball back to you when you miss it, and you keep batting when you get out. Fantastic format for beginners.
The keep batting when you get out thing's the only reason I think I played, so I got out a lot. 8 runs from the first over there to the pair. Michelle Lutis was the bowler. Susie Hilton is going to bowl the 6th over now. Tell us a little bit about the indoor landscape here in South Australia.
Yeah, so we've got 3 active indoor cricket centres in SA at the moment, obviously here in Salisbury, Stepney and Morphettvale. Our men's competition has an A, B and C, I believe, and junior divisions. Each centre fields more than one team, which is really pleasing to see that we're able to start growing our numbers despite only having 3 centres here. And we've seen particularly in the junior boys division a huge growth in numbers over the last couple of years, which has been sensational. And our women all play in a Division 1 and a Division 2 competition, which again has seen a lot of growth over the last couple of years, and that's due to a lot of new players and particularly through the juniors as well, a lot of growth as well. And we've seen it right across South Australia, a huge growth in junior indoor cricket numbers, which has been really pleasing to see that our youth coming through are finding that this game is preferable to them and really using it as a platform to build their outdoor cricket skills or to find a passion for for cricket. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's all good to hear for a state with just 3 indoor cricket centres.
Yeah, and obviously finding the time to play indoor cricket as well at the centres when we're all fighting for court space.
Yeah, definitely. That must be hard on training for your state sides.
Yeah, look, I think we're doing okay, and we're moving around the different centres and working out between the teams, and it's been, I think, a positive thing. It's brought some of our teams together. We're having more contact with each other between the men's and the women's and the juniors and the seniors, and particularly through trial matches, and it's been really valuable, I know, for our women's and girls state teams to go into trial matches with our boys teams, and that just provides really valuable game time for us against opponents that play a bit differently to us and who are different to what we play against week after week, and
which is comparable to what you'd experience at national.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Jess Oldfield here facing.
Alison Baker, the bowler. And South Australia just too good at the moment. Fairly dominant performance so far. But what I like is still lots of movement from Victoria. The skipper Brodie Whitmore still lots of chat, lots of clapping, lots of movement. They know that this game's well and truly gone, as is their tournament. They won't take their place in the final, but still running around and high-fiving. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good ticker.
Absolutely, and you've just got to enjoy these games, and there's no better feeling than putting on your state. Oh, there's a wicket. Well bowled by Baker. Through the gate.
Yeah, happy days. You take that one. Bit of maybe a couple of internal contests now amongst the Vics who can come up with the best stats. They won't have to buy around at the end of the tournament. Have to say this will be the only South Australian side in finals, but in the grand finals, I mean. But
will be. A few teams going down today, earlier today.
Yeah, but fantastic that the home state will have a presence in the grand finals at the end of the tournament.
And hopefully we'll have a decent show up tomorrow at midday.
You're testing me there. I've been
tomorrow,
calling all day today and haven't really turned my attention towards tomorrow. You're quite right. So midday tomorrow.
Calling all far and wide. Come dressed in red.
I saw some sparkly top hats here before.
Still an early call, or?
Oh, I don't think so.
Game's never done, and I think, while you probably start to think a little bit the game's out of hand from a Victoria point of view, there's always that bit of a feeling in the back of your mind that a couple of negative pairs and a few things go your way, and it's never quite over, but SA looking to build pretty nicely here, and I think looking towards tomorrow they'll be wanting to put out 4 pairs that are 20, 25 plus and really building on a decent score and a solid score to defend
Yeah.
ready for tomorrow.
But they've got to be ready. There's no question. And I think Gary Lowe said it earlier in the broadcast on the Gary Lowe show that the Queensland side will be watching this. You know, they'll be taking notes. I mean, Queensland side, they do what Queensland do. They're not going to change too much, but they'll be looking for whatever edge they can find against South Australia to make sure that they're in the box seat tomorrow. So South Australia won't want to give them an inch.
Absolutely, and it's been 2 cracking games between Queensland and South Australia this week, and can only hope it's going to be another cracking game as well. I know our history in grand finals against Queensland hasn't been great, but thinking this might be the team to do it, Cam.
There you go. Well, Victoria coming up with a third ball wicket there. Not sure that the South Australians knew that it was third ball because she stopped cold, and that's out. The third ball, the score has to change. The third ball is, of course, after 2 consecutive dots in a batting pair, and yeah, it's out. Keeps Pollard on strike. 3 balls to go, and short and wide outside off stump. A nice down up 2, as easy as you like.
Cam, there's nothing better after a wicket than being bowled a short outside off to get you safely back off strike.
It's a lollipop, isn't it?
Absolutely. The lollipop you get after a visit to the doctor.
Yeah. The 2 runs there
fielding
for Oldfield. And 1 to come in McDermott's over. The final over to this partnership.
Lovely bowling.
Yeah, it was a great pill there to finish. Very, very good over there from McDermott. A couple of loose ones put away for 2, but otherwise 3 dots and a third ball wicket. Well bowled, and McDermott brings the partnership to an end. The score now on 53, and South Australia well and truly home. We'll check in quickly with the other games for those of you watching and curious about the men's scores. Queensland WA 35 men's prelim. WA are 39 in the 8th over, at the start of the 8th over, in pursuit of Queensland's 73. That game will go down to the wire. The over 40 men's between New South Wales and the ACT. ACT on 49 in at the end of the 6th, chasing 38. They're probably home and hosed. Here once again, Tracy Gleeson bowling to Tanya Minocchio. 2 runs to begin. Short and tucked away, the down-up pull shot. You got some mail on. Are we saying Minocchio right?
I say Minocchio, but I've never actually checked whether that's right. So
yeah, it's just Tanya, I guess.
We'll go with Tanya. That seems safest.
Yeah, Minocchio's probably better than
is that a
Minocchio.
Catch? Oh, could be.
Well, there's a bit of nothing in the end, I think.
Probably almost 2 missed chances.
Yeah, I think that was a catch just put down, and then Victoria seemed to give up on it, despite the fact that Minocchio was standing in the middle of the crease, middle of the pitch.
It would have been a ripper catch too.
Yeah.
Speaking of catches,
Oh.
Marilyn here who's just hit that shot. 2 absolute
Speckies.
hurler of catches. Speckies, absolutely they were. Just stuck the hand out and it stuck.
Yeah, I didn't do her any favours. I was calling a Pollard first when it happened, but I cleaned it up a couple overs later. Credit where it's due. You've got to go to the right fielder.
Absolutely. Standing half a metre away from each other. Similar last names, I suppose, Cam.
Yeah, well, I'll use that as my excuse. I just need to clean my glasses. We are sitting below and to the right of the camera shot that you can see there, so I am getting a bit blind in my middle age. I was going to say old age, but I'll be kind to myself. 1 run for Pfeiffer. Minocchio back on strike. Final ball of Gleeson's over and finishes with a wide.
9 off it.
Yeah, another good start
Nice
for
start.
South Australia.
There's been a lot of talk around SA around our uniforms. I'm really liking the red, Cam. It's South Australian. It's how our teams rock up. We rock up in red. I'm really liking it. The change from our usual black kits that we've worn the last few years, and I think it stands out. I think it looks pretty good out there.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. We'll just let Cat Jones get this over underway. Full pitched and driven pretty well. It was well judged in the end there from Pfeiffer. For 2, yeah, back when I was running indoor cricket in Canberra, I kept threatening to field an ACT side with canary yellow head to toe. But the players there having
Didn't
none
go
of it.
down
No, they weren't
No.
happy. I should have done it in my last year when I was doing it. And just what are they going to do about it then? Oh, look at that. Down up 3
Beautiful.
from Minocchio.
Beautiful shot. This has been very good batting by these two so far. I know we're only 8 balls into it, but
That's enough to make a judgment of how they're progressing, I think. This one's wide. Minocchio gets back. Little opportunity there. She advanced pretty far out of her crease, but needed a direct hit, I think. The throw from the keeper.
yep, Victoria probably looking to take a wicket this over or the next to rein it back in a little bit, but another 3.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
playing with a bit of freedom
Beautiful,
here.
Cam.
Yeah.
I'm
if you're a
enjoying
South
this.
Australian fan, which clearly you are, but as a fan of indoor cricket, I like it also. Just like to see good cricket. And as I keep saying, it's always good to see the home side do well. Do you think, Jess, they'll go in to tomorrow's final with an unchanged side? This is their top 8, you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't been privy to any discussions this week around the team, but this team has looked the goods today, and yeah, it'll be tough to tell someone out of this team that they're not fronting up tomorrow.
Yeah. Imagine having that conversation.
The 23 at the beginning of the 11th over. Really nice position for SA right now. You'd be pretty confident now that it's a sealed game.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking at negative 50 from here is probably...
I don't think I've seen that in indoor cricket. I've seen some debacles in terms of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, but negative 50 would not be among them.
We've got enough balls for it. Enough time in the game, but SA looking very confident.
Oh, there's a
Whoop,
chance
there
there
it
and a
is.
direct hit. Whitmore, the skipper.
Great fielding and a bit of confusion by the calling there from the batters, but
And see, that's exactly the thing that I'm talking about from a South Australian perspective. It's the coach, it's the captain. You're looking at that and you think, okay, we're in a good position here, but that's a gift wicket. And they're not going to be able to afford to do that against Queensland in the final.
no, definitely not. I think maybe a few conversations, but it's hard to get back on a direct hit, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There it is, two
Yeah.
of them.
Another wicket falls. The big edge up into the top net, falls into the hands. And back-to-back wickets for South Australia.
Might have done it, Cam. I said it was undoable, but 2 in
If
a row
you have
here.
just talked Victoria into a negative 50 comeback,
I'll
that will be something special.
I'll be hiding my face for a long time.
You'll be sacked. South Australia won't want to see you for a while.
from this gig for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh. Saves the hat trick. Might even, no, not going to sneak a run there. Probably a good decision in the end.
Yeah, it would have been a bit adventurous.
Tanya saying, no thank you, go back.
Yeah, interesting. I was just looking at the amount of games as Baker continues that the South Australian sides have played, and this is actually only Minocchio's 4th game.
Yep.
She's only played 3 prior to this. Helen Peterson, who's not playing in this game, had played more games. So interesting to see whether she's not playing this side as a result of injury, whether she might factor in the finals equation, grand final equation, I should say.
Absolutely. And I know all of the players have had 2 or 3 games at least this week, and good opportunity to show what they can do in this environment. And Helen batted quite well last night too. Last night. So yeah, not sure about injuries, but yeah, will be interesting to see the team list tomorrow.
Yeah.
As I said, still will be a difficult conversation to have with any one of these 8. It's always hard to make a change, even if you think there's a few little things to work on. It's hard to change your winning 8, particularly when in a win of this fashion.
Oh, 100%. having coached a few sides and had those sorts of conversations before, I don't envy both the Queensland and South Australian coach if they've got to do that to a player. I mean, even if it's come as a result of injury, you know that, I'm sure you'd be aware as a player yourself that, you know, even if you're carrying an injury, you always back yourself to get through it and still give 100% to the team. So if a coach or a physio or someone's telling you, no, we're not playing you because you're injured, you're still not happy about it.
Oh, absolutely. What injury, I say.
Yeah. It's thrown right up there and left alone by Pfeiffer. 3 to come in the partnership now. The score sits on 70 runs.
Looking pretty good now. Had me nervous for a bit, but looking okay again. They put a bit of a stop the flow of wickets there.
Yeah, 2 wickets in the 11th over. It was a veritable floodgates. 2 to come now. Fended through, onside there for 2. I imagine the South Australians will be looking, they'll want to put 3 figures on here. You know, you've got Nisha Isles and Liz Hall coming in last. They'll want to take it well past 100 just to stay in form. Yep.
Two experienced batters in really good form and good touch, and not just looking towards tomorrow's grand final, but for both of them looking towards nationals in a month's time. And
yeah, good point.
obviously wanting to find really good form this week, particularly Lizzie, who's heading back to the NT and won't be training with us the next few weeks. So really unique and great opportunity for her to have a bit of cricket this time of year with some of her teammates, and obviously here in the home state it's been great for us to have her here.
So Liz Hall's from the NT?
I think she's from New South Wales, but yeah,
originally.
she is living in the Northern Territory and has decided that SA is home, and very good decision. We're a delightful group to be a part of. And
well, yeah, I've seen Liz play for a number of years, and there's a lot of Northern Territorians that come down in the men's divisions as well. It's sort of a bit of a synergy there between NT and SA.
Yep, I think we've had that in a lot of sports, and for a number of years we're the natural allies, I think, when it comes to wanting to beat everyone else. We get together to try and do it.
The Central Australians.
And a great start there by Hawley.
Oh, dominant shot that was. And McDermott's the bowler. 5 balls remain. Tucked away by Nisha Isles. Didn't do it between skins, so I'll do it quickly. Over 35 men's. 61 on the board. Midway through the 12th for WA in pursuit of Queensland's 73. They're a real show there, WA, as McDermott continues here. And in the over 40 men's final, prelim final, ACT are well and truly home and hosed against New South Wales. 75 on the board. The beginning of the 11th over in pursuit of 38.
Fairly similar score over there to what we're looking at here, 78.
Yeah.
South Australia looking pretty comfortable against Victoria's 24, and largely due to some pretty good fielding in that middle period, that -2 and -12, some tight bowling and some, as we've already discussed, some ripper catches and some really clean pieces of fielding that has...
They turn games. They turn games when you
Absolutely.
pull that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love telling my under-17 girls to turn 1 wicket into 2,
Yeah.
build that snowball effect against other teams, and it's really hard as a batter, even if you're going well and you know you're going well, you lose that 1 wicket, that ebb of doubt that comes in, that, will it happen again? It can't happen again. It happens once. As a fielding team, turning 1 into 2, 2 into 3, can completely change your game, change the momentum of indoor cricket.
Oh, definitely.
We've got Liz and Nish both pointing down this way. Not sure if they're...
Pointing at the back net, are they?
Yeah, I think hit it down there, mate. Hit it down there. She might have been talking about her first shot. Did you see that? Did you see where I hit that?
The internal competitions in teams, I love them.
Absolutely.
You mentioned your 17 girls. I take that to mean you're coaching them, are you,
I
at
am,
Junior
yes,
Nationals?
I
Very
am.
good.
Excited to be doing that again. My second year with the under-17 group, and
Yeah, it's great to see an Opens player like yourself looking after the juniors. Good to see.
yeah, I absolutely believe in giving back to younger people. I know Nisha was my first ever indoor coach, and
There you go.
I hold some of those memories fairly fondly, and certainly try to remember some of her teachings, maybe not all of them, but certainly some of her teachings when, taking charge of trying to teach some of our young ones. But we've got an exceptionally talented group of young women here in South Australia.
Yeah, I think your 21 side won the
They
title
did.
last year.
They did.
Winning just 2 games in the tournament. But yeah.
And that's the nature of a 3-team competition.
Yeah.
You get it right at the right time and
Yep.
you can take that trophy home. But that's just the nature of sport, isn't it? You get it right in
When it
finals,
counts,
and it's
yeah.
it's something that Queensland are very, very good at as well, probably across their whole unit. They're very, very good at the end of the week at just turning the notch a little bit and taking the game out of your hands. And I think that's something that we can probably learn from a little bit is that discipline at the end of the week, and maybe even that belief, which that under-21 group certainly found at the end of their week last year. And really exciting for us as a state to take that. Our second ever, I believe, women's or girls premiership, but certainly our first in an Opens division. And
Yeah.
fantastic for those girls. And I know a lot of them are showing up again for this year, and pretty pumped to give it another crack.
Did they retain many players given it's an age-limited group? Were
Yeah,
they
I
all pretty young, were they?
From what I know, I believe only 2 or 3 have had to go up from age. Very, very similar team, which is always
That's
a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Here's Marnie Kelly now bowling the penultimate over of the match. Yeah, I remember, I think it was Chloe Frick was the captain presenting the shield. They were very excited after that win.
Absolutely.
It was good to see, and I'm glad to hear that they've retained a lot of those players. It's good for South Australia.
Absolutely. And Chloe's dad is actually new coach of that team this year. And
Oh, right. And Chloe's still playing?
Chloe is still playing, yeah. So Kevin, he's been the coach of our South Australian Outbacks team, women's Outbacks team, the last few years, including taking them to a national championship 2 seasons ago. So well-qualified coach, experienced, and
Oh, it's great to
really
have him there
excited to see
then,
how that goes. And
coaching the 21s.
absolutely,
Yeah, good
Yep.
news.
That's-
Sounds like you've got some star power in your coaching ranks, Jess.
it's-
Shucks. Well, it finds the edge of Nisha Isles. Oh, put that in your CV. How about that, Marnie Kelly? Leading
Very
edge
good.
from Nisha Isles.
Very good catch. And we've got something happening on the court next door. I think a knee or an ankle. One of the WA batters as they're turning to run between the wickets. But yes, 24 runs, the 15th over, 2 balls to go, 96 on the board. SA Queensland in the grand final tomorrow, Cam.
Yeah, it'll be quite a contest.
That's
It'll be good to
exciting.
watch, yeah.
Absolutely. Both teams bring what we know they've got. It's going to be a very good contest.
Yeah, and look, that's all you can ask of all the teams in finals, that they just bring everything they've got, and then it'll turn it into a spectacle. We know that although that Queensland side have got up on each occasion against South Australia throughout this tournament, it's anybody's game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Finals are a funny thing too, so it's anyone's game to take, and it's going to be up to the 8 on the court to want it more and to believe in themselves. And 100 on the board, there's the 3 figures we wanted, Cam. Well, I wanted.
Yeah, again, as a fan of indoor cricket, I'm happy to see the score. It's just, again, it demonstrates what this South Australian side are capable of. And they'll need every ounce of that in the big final.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, the Victorian skipper Brodie Whitmore is going to bowl the final over of the match. It's Liz Hall on strike, sitting on 19 runs, if you don't mind. And Whitmore gets us back underway. Oh, what a shot that is.
Beautiful.
See, Whitmore bowled a couple of those full and wide deliveries with great effect in her first over. This time, Liz Hall right up to the challenge.
A few more experienced batters here, Cam, so might have to try a new tactic. But what I've found really impressive here in this innings is just the spirit that Vic have played this game in, and they've been so enthusiastic and up and about, and same for their players on the side, just every ball they're playing with heart and with passion, and know the game's gone, but really giving it their all, which is fantastic. And that's a good ball.
Yeah, it is. I think each of the players here for Victoria in patches have made a real contribution to not just this game, but clearly the whole tournament. And congratulations to them for their work throughout the week. Well, not just throughout the week, the tournament itself, but all the prep work in the lead up. You and I both know there's a fair bit involved in getting away, and they've done a great job. Here they are in the prelim final.
Absolutely. The commitment you make to play in an international tournament, to take the time away from work and family, and to train and commit, it's definitely not just the week you're away, but that time that you build up towards it. And 37 on the board, 4 balls to come. We're looking to just keep building here, Cam, I think. Yeah. What can they do with 4 balls?
Well, I think they'll be happy with 4 of those, to be honest. Although, what do you think they'll run at one? Try and send it to the back.
I'm hoping there's a bit more discipline than that. I'm thinking it's a down-up game from here, but we'll see. These two can be a bit competitive with each other, but I think
it's another good ball there.
Really good ball.
Yeah, been impressive. The Victorian skipper with bat in the field and with ball. A quality player, Brodie Whitmore. Absolutely.
Had the pleasure of playing against her a couple of years ago in the Opens division. She's an experienced player and sure brings a lot to this Victorian team, more than what she's putting out in her skills, but in her experience and her leadership. 3rd ball here too.
Yeah, the
what final
a way to
ball. Finish.
Yeah. Well, something will happen here in the last ball.
Something now.
Yep. Last ball for Victoria in the tournament. It's driven, and it's through. Too good, Nisha Isles. It'll be 4 runs to finish, and 115 on the board for a dominant South Australia. Victorious here in the over 30 women's preliminary final over Victoria, and will take their place in the grand final tomorrow against Queensland. Jess O'Reilly, South Australia, just too good.
Absolutely, and I think that's a very disciplined batting performance from South Australia, and they'll be looking now to build that into their game tomorrow. And yeah, I think similar score tomorrow will be the aim, at that 100 plus, 110 plus, will be defendable for this fielding team, and certainly a good night's rest tonight, and let's see a sea of red, Cam, tomorrow at midday here at Salisbury.
Sounds good, Jess. So our congratulations to South Australia. Of course, a comprehensive win here in the prelim final, and a big game in the grand final up against Queensland. Our commiserations to Victoria. They've had a wonderful tournament. They've taken place here in the prelim final. No doubt we'll see all of them again here at the over 30 ladies division at the national tournament. Now, thank you very much at home for your company. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Jess O'Reilly, thank you for your company through the second innings.
Thanks for having me here, Cam. Hope it was big shoes to fill coming in for Gary, but hope I've done him justice.
You certainly have. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your company on Jess's behalf, on Gary's behalf, and of course on behalf of Cricket Australia and our broadcast partners at Sportscast Australia. I'm Cameron Walter. Thanks so much for watching.